Hey man, welcome back to Man Time. Today is the day. 3120, new chain, bunch of work, additional work done to it now with carb seals, just double checking everything. Got a full tank of fuel. I'm going to try to rip through a huge chunk of this wood into a big 3 to 4 inch thick slab. Welcome to Man Time. Alright, well, first thing I want to do is try to get the saw warmed up, see if it's going to even run right today. With this one, you just never know, right? So let's see if we're running it. That's sounding pretty good. Let me, I forgot my scrunch. Let me grab my scrunch and adjust that chain a little bit. Alright, well, this is all part of it. And on these saws here, they've got the adjuster, in the front of it down here. And I actually found a machine screw. I think it's like 1/4 20, maybe 3/16, 18, something like that. I just found a machine screw from the hardware store and stuck it in there. There we go. Alright, let's see if it'll restart. I found this one likes the decomp on position and half throttle. Well, I was gonna say that the actually that this was my fault, right? I realized right about here it was kind of cutting at an angle, and I was like, you know what? I must not have lined it up perfectly vertical on the top here, and that's why it was kind of getting thinner and thinner. But as you can see down here, it just starts curving. That's gonna be chain. Let's get back on the bench and see if we can figure out what's going on with this chain. Well, I guess it's good to find out about this stuff now, you know, rather than later. Man, these these teeth just don't feel sharp. Now, these are a semi-chisel. You know, they've got a rounded edge. You know, they're designed to be used as a milling chain. Now, that was kind of a, well, I mean, it's a ripping chain, so it's made to be used in ripping cuts. That's kind of a semi-ripping cut, because you aren't going completely, you know, with the grain. A normal cross cut is going to be completely against the grain, right, where you're like cutting logs into rounds. Milling cuts are going to be going with the grain, like down the log. This is kind of coming through the grain, the cuts that I'm doing right now. So it's a little bit different than both a ripping and or a standard, you know, cross cut. So, but let's get in here and look at these teeth. I'm going to grab my good raker gauge. I've got a couple of them, so we can try a couple different things to see where these rakers are set. Oftentimes when you get that curve coming down through the wood, one set of rakers is going to be higher or lower than the other side, so you're going to get more aggressive on one set of teeth than the other set, and that's due to those raker heights. Yeah, so that right there is right at 30. This one here, this one is a little bit lower. Yeah, a little bit, well, pretty similar. Alright, I wanted to have you guys back just a little bit here so we can get a good look at the different raker gauges. Now that one is way down. This one says it's 0.25, way below that. And this one says it's, yeah, 0.25, way below that. So, that one's not telling us anything. I've got this Oregon one that's 0.25. Yeah, it's not touching. So the gauges seem to be down. Let's try the, yeah, they're set to what looks to be the hard setting for a 3/8. Soft setting. Well, they might even be at the soft setting. Alright, so it's just barely touching on that soft setting on that tooth. Let's see where it's at on this one. Yeah, barely touching on the soft setting. Okay, so I guess I'm going to run down through here and just get all of these set. Yeah, so that one isn't touching. Alright, I'm going to run down through here and just make sure they're all on the soft setting. And then I think I need to sharpen these teeth, because they aren't very sharp. Yeah, so this is going to be one of those instances where you want to use your file guide here. So this has got 10%, 25, and 30 on there, right? So you can actually line up and cut to that 10%. And again, you're only filing on the forward stroke. Picking up hay bales has definitely trained me for this situation, where you just have to realize your pain is here, and you can't leave until the job is done. I had to basically go back through and redo all of these, because the guide just wasn't helping me. So I've learned to just... You've got to use both hands, and I'm really relying on the marks on the teeth here to get me lined up. And I'm just going to have to learn to use a file with my left hand. It's near impossible to get a good sharpening with that guide. And so that's what I'm going to have to do. Alright, one more side. Alright, now ideally you're going to want to do this after you sharpen the chain. I did it beforehand. I think I mentioned that there. But, I mean, I'm checking several of these. I didn't take off really enough to be, you know, doing too much these. There's a couple where I'm touching them up, but I mean, it's so very little amount of raker that I'm actually touching. But I am going to go through and hit every one of them just to make sure they're perfect, right? Because you don't want your filing to screw up the way that the chain cuts, right? So yeah, there's a couple where I'm just barely taking off. At this point, I'm in it. I may as well just eat it while I'm here. Yeah, good to get all this kind of stuff out of the way. Preparing to chainsaw mill. If I had to, you know, figure all this out in the heat of the summer when I'm trying to chainsaw mill, wouldn't be a happy camper. Well, the saw is definitely cold at this point, and nighttime is quickly moving in. Let's see if we can get the saw started, and then see if it'll cut straight. Alright, man. Well, this is a crying shame what I'm doing to this wood here. But I think I've pretty much got it figured. This right here is really nice and straight. And matter of fact, it's straight all the way up in here until like right down here where it starts to curve out. So I think this is going to be a salvageable piece. Man, is it beautiful too. So beautiful. Look at all this burl and knot where it comes together. This is, I mean, this is toward the middle of the tree. You know, and it's got the included bark, and it's gorgeous. If you guys think this wood is gorgeous too, hit that thumbs up. But I think I am going to be able to salvage this piece at least. And a lot of this probably not. I mean, I could maybe make it into like a coffee table or something, like half of it. The one below it is going to be a good one. But yeah, I've got to get this figured out, don't I? Teeth are actually sharp now, and we know the rakers are all set. So, and I was liking the chips it was throwing. You know, it was throwing off some bigger chips that time around. You know, so it shows me that I think I'm moved in the right direction. One thought I had was maybe these top dogs aren't exactly lined up, so when I'm dogging in, like maybe it's kind of forcing it, because I'm jerking up on it. I mean, maybe I need to kind of lighten up my grip a little bit. This is just good after work workout for me, you know, getting ready for springtime. But yeah, 3120 is actually running perfectly today. No issues. Running great. I mean, I haven't run a stock one, and I did very minor port work to it. And it was, of course, really blown up when I got it, so I couldn't really be happier with it. And like I said, this is flat and perfect, and I think I'm going to be able to make a good tabletop out of this one. So, anywho, you got any pointers for me down there in the comments? Make sure to subscribe, check out all the videos, including me like rebuilding this saw from a blown up, melted down piece of junk. So, that's going to do it for today on Man Time, guys. Get out there, have you some man time too.